The Kinfolks Art Exhibition.
The Kinfolks Art Exhibition was something that I had been thinking about for a little while because I started thinking about how many people in our family were actually artists or doing something creative. And so I thought about maybe we should have a Kinfolks Art Exhibit. And that back then I was thinking of doing it at one of the community centers or something. And just so happened, um, once we joined this collective, I, of course, got with you and we decided that that would be a good idea. And so we hosted the first Kim Folks art show. Hoping we'll do many more, but that was the first one.
I was hoping to hear you say that.
Hmm.
It was a real community event, and we're making art history here at Haven. Tell me a little bit about the individuals represented in the show here.
Okay, the top guy with the hat on, that's my first cousin, Ron Crosby. Next to him, Tamika King, my niece. Then Ayana Sturdivant, my great niece. Then over to the side, as we go down, I'm going to go down from there because all of those are Sturdivants. Exentria Sturdivant, her father, Tony Sturdivant, her mother, and then Zuri Sturdivant, her sister. Now, the unique thing is every one of them entered some type of art. It was either photography, actual painting, or they worked with the computer to do art. So there was different, and textiles, because Tony did something in her book that was kind of a mixture of things. Then as we go back over this is my brother Jeffrey Flowers Jr., who was surprised that he was in the show, but his son had entered a picture that he did many years ago. And Gia Pope, another great niece, Justin Flowers, my nephew, and then yours truly here, and Taylor Flowers, my great niece. So the talent seems to still be going on in the family, and I thought, man, that must be our calling on some level, because in the Bible you see all these different types of talents being with certain families. So apparently ours was art. Apparently we did art at some level. So and this is kind of a reflection, and I thought like it should be shared, with the community. So that's what we did, and I'm already thinking about next year because some people who weren't able to participate this year may want to participate next year. This one you're looking at here, my nephew Justin Flowers did, and it's something he's reflecting on here about how people might be chained down to social media, and I think that's what his thinking was on that. And I think I mean, it's very unique. I wouldn't have thought to do something like that, but
Well,
this
I
is
can
what he
see the
reflected.
message.
Yeah, the
Fortunately, we're
message.
using the social media like a
Yes.
springboard
Yeah.
instead of a weight, a ball and chain. Tell me about this piece.
Now this is Gia, my little niece. She was 8 actually when she did this picture. I think she's 9 maybe now, maybe 9 or 10, and she did it on my telephone, and I was just amazed that she could do. And it takes a little bit of skill to be able to hold that stylus on a telephone and do something like this. And she did it really quick, and that was amazing to me. And I really liked it. And I told her I really liked it, and she looked like, "Huh, really?" I said, "Yes, that's very good."
Well,
And
we're
so
really
here it is today.
trying to get as much electronic media into the studio as we possibly can because that definitely is the way of the future. Tell me about this lovely lighthouse. It speaks to me.
Hey, this is another work by my cousin Ron Crosby. My mother bought this from him several years ago, so I brought it over to include it in order to represent some of his work. He does a variety of things. He does still lives. He does people. Um, he does. I've seen some great things. He did a picture of a waves. I mean, it seems like it's just. Oh, and he likes to do pop art as well. He likes to do that.
Well, we cover everything from Suniform tablets to pop art. This is a nice composition here. Tell me about these pieces.
Okay, this one here is my grandniece Taylor Flowers. She said this was her self-portrait.
I got more comments on this one than any other piece in the show. Maybe the most popular and evocative piece of the show.
Yeah, and she revealed that this picture was representing uh, some of the best times and worst times in her life. So I guess that's reflected with the flowers on one side, and on the other side, you see her, she's crying blood, you know. So it's like she had, and it's kind of maybe cloudy on this side, and on this side, we have a beautiful sunrise. So she kind of captured her feelings that way.
Well, all of these mediums, it's just amazing. Acrylic and watercolor. Tell me about the photography you have going on here.
Tamika King, this was one of the pieces she submitted. And she captured something there. You see the little tiny statue of Francis of Assisi, I believe, a
Oh,
bird bath.
might have missed it.
Uh-huh. And then the birds flying at the same time. So she was able to capture that, and I think she really liked it.
Tell me about this multimedia piece here. It's high relief, three-dimensional almost.
Okay, this is a piece that I did, and it's called "She Mary Pondered," because in the Bible, Mary went, and I almost feel like teaching a Bible lesson, but it's like Mary went through all these amazing things that happened around the birth of her son, and even as he was growing up, and she wasn't saying anything about it. It's like she was so amazed, but she knew that she needed to keep her thoughts to herself. And as I wrote in a book, I said most of us would have been bragging all the time if wise men had came from the east to see our baby and all these people and a big star was in the sky. So God knew what he was doing when he chose Mary. He chose someone who was wise, able to keep her mouth shut, you know, and humble. So I thought that's the spirit she has.
Well, that is a lesson for me from Mary to keep my mouth shut.